Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Mahnur and you watch MK Vid. In today's video I will tell you another instructive story of Islam, which contains thoughts that are very valuable for every Muslim. They answer important questions that do not lose their relevance both in terms of the birth of Islam and in modern times. From such stories, every Muslim can learn something new for himself. The plot of the story helps to realize the right direction of life, teaches a good deed with which the Almighty will be pleased, and which will help the Muslim overcome sinful temptations and earn a place in paradise in the future life. Short instructive Islamic stories often touch to tears with their simple but very wise plots. And these tears are the result of long reflections of Muslims on simple stories that teach a lot. The life of Khalifas is filled with turbulent social activities. They have to meet with various people, scientists and commoners, travelers and merchants, sometimes solve complex and extraordinary tasks. So you can often find interesting and instructive stories about Khalifas. One such story tells of Khalifa Umar ibn Al-Khattab, who used to change his clothes in the evening and go for a walk in the city, pretending to be an ordinary person, so showing interest in the concerns of ordinary people. You will agree that if you dress in ordinary clothes the same as by other people, not outstanding special luxuries, you can hear and see a lot of things, also understand how actually live the people around you. You can help someone, but if you wish, without saying your name and title. Very wise people acted in similar way. On one of these walks, he approached the milkmaid's house and heard a conversation between her and her daughter. The mother suggested that her daughter dilute the milk with water. Nowadays there are devices that measure the fat content of milk, and of course there is an average indicator for comparison to understand whether the milk was diluted or not. But in previous eras this was not so the case, and therefore if someone diluted milk with water in order to sell more milk, then no one could understand it at the time of buying. But of course, having tried it, people could understand whether milk is diluted or not. So let's return to the story, how the Khalifa Umar ibn Al-Khattab hears how the mother offered her daughter to dilute the milk, and the daughter objected to her, recalling that there was a ban on this by the Khalifa. Then the mother said that the Khalifa would not know about this, and the daughter objected. If the Khalifa does not see, Allah sees. MashaAllah, what an honest and God-fearing girl. Khalifa Umar ibn Khattab was so impressed by the words of this girl that he married his son to her. What do we see in this story? Both the Quran and Sunnah talk a lot about the prohibition of lying towards Muslims and non-Muslims. The path of Islam leads to truthfulness. Having stepped on it, a person must completely renounce any form of falsehood. Sahih Muslim 101. Abu Huraira reported, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Whoever raises arms against us is not one of us. Whoever deceives us is not one of us. And the same we can read in Sunan Abi Dawud 3452. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ passed a man who was selling grain. He asked him, "How are you selling?" He informed him. Revelation then came down to him saying, "Put your hand into it." So he put his hand into it and felt that it was damp. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ then said, "He who deceives has nothing to do with us." Muslim society is built on purity of feelings, love, sincerity towards every Muslim and fulfillment of promises. Members of Muslim society should be distinguished by piety, truthfulness and fidelity. Deception and fraud are qualities that are alien to Islamic society and run counter to the personality of a noble Muslim. Among Muslims, there should be no place for swindlers, traitors and deceivers. Bye for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.